you're going to get people to come through clean. You can see that time since 6, we get 2 people coming in free. Are you struggling to stop the run? Be sure you check out Meister Madden for a full guide covering all the meta formations from I form close to heavy panther. What is up, YouTube? Keeping up with the meta, we're going to be going into a new blitz. This is available only in the NFL Live Playbook of the Minnesota Vikings. This is not available in any other playbook. It is the Dollar Sugar 3-2. Now, it's going to look fairly similar to the Big Dime 146, but the blitz is going to be 0 blitz. Now, stay for this whole video for a little bit of coverage and a little bit of a mini scheme for defense behind this, as I think that's going to be the more important part of this. We're going to be going against Gun Bunch. This is Miami Gun Bunch. It's not West Coast. It's not as good. It's still a decent Gun Bunch. So to set this blitz up, what we want to do is we'll go ahead and press. Now you'll notice that slot corner is going to move over. This kind of varies formation to formation with what he's going to do. Against split close, generally he's going to be on the same side as where the lone side receiver is. And so that's kind of going to come down to practice. From here, we're going to go ahead and spread our D-line. And you can slant them to the outside or you can just leave them as is. But lastly, and probably the most important part, is QB contain. Now, this is where we start getting into the defensive mini scheme. So I really hope you guys start paying attention to this part. How I play Gun Bunch. This is how I go ahead and do it. So A and B, I go ahead and put on inside and outside quarters. So it's going to be something like that. Now, with the flats, you got to kind of consider, do you expect them to go into a max protect? Or do you expect them to send all 5 routes out on the field? Generally, when we're facing Gun Bunch, we got to worry about the corner out. Now, these corner outs are really tough to stop, admittedly, but with a good click on, if you can click on early enough, you generally can get away with that. Now, this one adjustment in particular, this one you have to be extremely careful about. This comes down to understanding tendencies. What I'll sometimes do is put X on a soft squat. And now I either match to man coverage, or if they throw an out route, it'll jump an out route a lot better than man will. Again, you've got to be careful about that, because if they do put their running back on the route and then they just go ahead and streak X, that soft squat is eventually going to give up on that streak and give up that touchdown. So do keep in mind with that. If you guys want a full breakdown of zones, be sure to check out meistermadden.com in the description. So this is a little bit of what I might do now. Again, this is a shell that I'm going to show every single time. I may even go to the extent of something like this and do something like that. So you've kind of got a quarters on one side with the soft squat another time. Again, that soft squat, you got to predict that they're going to go into a max protect. So in this situation, we're going to go into max protect. Now, I'm not saying right now this blitz is going to be absolutely humming, but one thing you can do to help it come through is blitz your user. And if you expect them to go into max protect, you're going to go ahead and blitz RB as well and do something like this. You're okay giving up underneath. You're not okay giving up over the top. And we're going to go ahead and snap this ball. Disengage. Try to get the pressure home. You can see the running back picks it up right there perfectly. But we're still able to get the fumble anyways. Now, we'll show you guys what happens against a non-max protect. It's going to be pretty clear that it's going to come through screaming. And so, again, when you're going against a good player, it's going to be a game of adjustments. So I might do something, I might do something like this. Oops, not like that. Like that. And then we're going to go ahead and technically send 7. But again, keeping in mind that he may not go into a max protect in this situation, which I know he's not. So we're going to go ahead and I might put this guy into a soft squat. I might put him into a cloud plat. Probably a hard plat since I know it's spacing switch. And we're just going to go ahead, lurk over the middle of the field, and take his first read. So you can see right there, RB's his first read. The other hitch is his next read, and that third hitch ran by number 17 is his final read. But you can see that final third read doesn't have enough time to throw it, and therefore takes a sack. Now, this is kind of a good lesson to show that there isn't a blitz out there in the world that is quote-unquote unblockable, but there are certainly some blitzes that are more difficult to block than others. Again, you can spread your D-line, help to get some better angles on sheds, especially if you guys have good pass rushers on the outside edge. I don't know how good Griffin is. I don't know if he's a good finesse. I don't know how good Hunter is either. But if you guys have somebody that has good finesse, or like a finesse specialist and whatever other chemistries you need on them, then that's going to be really helpful in getting those angles to get that one-on-one, to get that immediate disengage. So we'll go into a max protect this time. Again, we're just going to go ahead and just do a little swerve so we can get some heat to come in this time. And we're going to make the same adjustment. If your opponent is struggling with one adjustment on defense, continue to make that until they show you that they can indeed beat it. There's no need to adjust too much. That's the biggest issue, and I talked about that in a separate video about how people over adjust in game. You only need to adjust so much, and you only have so much time to put those zones out on the field. So if they're struggling with it, then keep that same adjustment up until they show you that they can dot it. Then start changing it up. So we'll snap the ball again right here. You can see that time they pick it up perfectly. We're kind of expecting more of a deep throw in that situation, so we take it away. We can simulate that as being maybe 3rd and long, 2nd and long. But first down, we're going to play the flats a little more aggressively. We'll do something like this. Do something like a cover 2 on that side. And then pray if they throw an out route there that we'll have somebody to pick it up. So let's see if we can get this going again. So hopefully you guys are paying attention to this video. I think adjustments are probably more important than the blitz itself. But generally speaking, when you're going against a max protect person, you're going to get people to come through clean. See that time since 6, we get 2 people coming in free. Now obviously we're going to go and block our running back. Generally, if you just block your running back, you'll notice that the blocking assignments I don't understand why, but they seem to get better. Slant our D-line to the outside this time. Make the same adjustment. Do something like that. Lastly, keep it contained. Bring our user down here. You kind of want to give it a swerve. You can do 2 options. You can swerve to the inside, and what I mean by that is when they snap the ball, you're going to kind of run like that in that direction. It's not going to be squared up. You're going to be able to be fluidly running. Or you can just bump an offensive lineman. So that's 2 different options when you guys are trying to lob blitzes right there. And this is what we're going to do in this particular blitz. You can bump or swerve. Either one works fine. Swerving, I will let you know, it does take a little more skill to do. So right here, again, swerving. See that time? The running back barely picks up his man, and somehow we're not getting any sort of pressure when we finally get the pressure home. And you can see right there, easily able to pick it up. We'll go ahead and do this. So we'll go ahead and block our running back. This time we're going to go ahead and send 7. Now, do keep in mind, I'm a big preacher of this. There's not a single blitz out there that is quote-unquote unbeatable. People just like to use that as an excuse. So right here, we're sending 7. And I believe, 7. I had to do the math really quickly. We're going against a blocked running back. You'll see this time, again, it's going to come through clean because of numbers. Basic Madden is a math game. Now, if you guys suck at math, if you can't do 1 + 1, well, man, it's kind of going to be a struggle. And I really strongly suggest not playing Madden. Big's right here, again. It's going to come through clean. That time we get 2 people because we bumped the offensive lineman. And we're able to hum because of it. Now, one final adjustment we can go into is a cover 3. One thing that I have noticed throughout the club games is what they do is we're actually going to flip it. Is they'll run it like this. This is something similar to what you'd see in the Big Dime 146, but the only difference is this corner right here is not going to be the one that blitz. It's actually going to be the one over here. Curse, however you say his name, is generally going to be the one that is going to be doing the blitzing. A big suggestion I have for your defensive line is, again, make sure you have edge, I think it's edge, I don't remember what. You guys know, you MUT gurus out there, you know what I'm talking about. Finesse specialist, I think it's edge threat, are the 2 chemistries to have on your defensive line. Again, it's just all about getting those sheds, getting home, so you can start just standing 3 instead of having to hit 4, 5, or whatever the case may be. From here, what we want to do, especially against a gun bunch, is I've noticed people will take this guy that's in this curl flat, especially if they expect them to go into max protect, and then they will go ahead and just alert wherever they expect it to be ran. If you do notice that X is starting to be put onto an out route, you can go and counter that if it's a frequent thing they're doing by putting your outside corner into a cloud flat, and now jump that out route pretty quickly. And then from here, you just got to worry about that deep ball as a user. So this is another setup that we can get against defense. Again, this is specifically for gun bunch. Now in Meister Madden, we have a lot more. Talking like spread, split close, bunch. We've got a few different setups and one very good defense. I like running against all that kind of stuff. But this is another look that you can give them as well. Again, it requires a little less adjustments and you're still able to send some pressure. On top of that, what you could do is kind of do a little bit of, I guess you could say cover 3, not really a cover 3 cloud. Something similar to that effect. I don't think you can put this in, you can't put that guy in the outside third. But you could do something like that and kind of have a deep half or cover 2 shell on one side of the field and then lurk on this linebacker. Again, being sure that we bump the offensive lineman. This is how 146 works so effectively, and this is just how you guys can get it to work as well. Now that time it gets picked up, it's kind of a funky alignment, but you can still see able to get the pressure home because of that defensive line ability, and we're able to get the sack. I think that's one thing that's misunderstood by a lot of people, that you need a D-line ability. You simply can't live without it. You're not going to get any sort of pressure, and they're going to be able to have a lot more time in the pocket to get away with it. So this is a little bit of a blitz I wanted to bring you guys. Again, just like 146, I want to say it's a math game. It's a math game, and it's a game of chess, especially when you're going against a passer. Now, running is going to be different, and I've got a video that covers that, and I've got a full guide, literally a guide that is built solely for the run for Madden 20. So please check out Master Madden. I think it'll help a lot of you guys out. But this is just a little bit of a breakdown of some things. Again, this is a look that I might give them. This is a look I might give them. And then I don't know if I'm really expecting them to just try over the top, then I might do something like this and really play like a cover 2 invert, something like that. Again, it's going to be different depending on what your opponent is doing on defense. So hop into a game. That's the best suggestion I can get you, is get into a game, play a lot of games, see different reads that people like to make, and then adjust from there. Again, let me repeat for you guys that missed it, do not over adjust. You will hurt yourself so much if you over adjust. So be aware of that, be aware of tendencies, and then adjust from there. So that's going to take care of this little blitz video and a little bit of a defensive mini scheme against Gun Bunch with a couple different cover drills. Again, that cover 4 quarters, I want to cover this one final time. This outside quarter, generally if they streak over there and put a corner out, he's not going to play a corner as aggressively. But what you can do to try and counteract that is you got to click on as soon as they're winding the ball up. Generally speaking, when they wind up and you click on, it will often, not always, but often click you on to a defender that's closest to the receiver where they're pushing the ball. Otherwise, what you need to do is as soon as that ball is thrown, like as soon as he's about to release it from his hands, you need to click on. And that is going to be the best way to shut down a corner. Otherwise, most corners can be man and most zone coverages. So with that being said, guys, that's going to take care of this video. Hop into some games, play against her. If you got a friend that's good at the game, play against him. If you got a friend that's a bum at the game, don't play against him or her. I don't know who plays Madden anymore. But play some online games against random people. Maybe get into some money games on Players Lounge or Game Stream. Whatever you guys want to do. And until next time, get in the lab. This has been T-Meister. See ya.